Hi there, Sagittarius. How are you guys doing? I really hope that this video finds you well. Welcome to your weekly reading. Back with me again, Anisa from the Inner Stereo. So don't forget, by the end of the session, we're going to do a pick a card reading. And don't forget to also check your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. This is general reading, so the rules might get reversed. And because it's general reading, so the reading may or may not resonate with you guys too, all right? And there's like tons and tons of, tarot readers out there for you to just click and watch. So let's talk now, Sagittarius. Let's see your overall energy for this week first. You have the King of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords, a bit tough there. And also you also have the Four of Cups. So I feel that you guys are overcoming this. Three of Swords is something that is hurtful for us, you know what I mean? It could be our thought process, what we think about, kind of like is hurtful for us. It could be, a behavior of the other person that might hurt you. And I feel that when that happens, or if it already has happened, I feel that you write it down in your memory book, in your here, anywhere. You could write it down in your diary or maybe in your mind, and then you kind of like deciding to kind of like close off your heart chakras for a little bit and to kind of like refocus your attention, or you try to drive away your attention from your relationship sectors and from the matter of the heart towards your financial security there with the King of Pentacles. Careful of indulging yourself with like too many sweet food, cakes, drinks. You might want to do that in 1 week to come. You might want to buy fancy clothes or things that's just like feels good. I'm not saying fancy clothes as if like you care about the brand. No, it's just like something that just feels good, you know what I mean? So careful for that, all right? What is the overall challenge of the relationship? You have the Five of Wands in reverse, and here it's hard to have a relationship with somebody when all you guys do all the time is argumenting or arguing. You see this card? In this particular deck of mine, the Five of Wands is like a little bit different because you have five witches who are standing, around a cauldron, and all of them are kind of like argumenting or debating, which potion's recipe is the best. And then without them realizing, the fire starts to come out of the cauldron and then it's starting to burn them all. So there has been like a debate or argument or a tug of war or like a pride competition going on between you and them, and it's just never been resolved. It's just never come to a full conclusion and never come to full circle. And the more time spent with that, and that argument could actually be explicit or implicit, you know what I mean? Explicit is like you guys argumenting with your mouth or maybe with physical. Implicit means that, like a lot of mental manipulations, mind games, emotional manipulations, and what have you. Just to kind of like, this person regrets things in the past. They have the Five of Cups, so they feel that the friendship aspect of this relationship has already been gone, and they're kind of like mourning over it, and they kind of like focus a lot on the negativity of the relationship rather than focusing on the love that is still there. You see, both of you still got the Two of Cups, so the connection is still very, very strong. But then they decided to focus a lot on the negativity or like the fights that you had previously, or this is like a new person in your dating life. Probably they're focusing a lot on your ex or your past histories or whatever. Why are they doing this? Is because they need to weigh in the pros and cons about what they want to do with you. They are wanting to make a decision what to do about you. You, however, are the Page of Cups, so you're highly optimistic of this relationship. You see the different type of personality and characteristic in how you view this relationship. It's very different. You guys are very optimistic. You feel that the future is there for both of you to grasp. The sky is a ceiling. And all of that. Whereas they're focusing a lot more on the negativity. You try to walk away from this relationship at least once, but you can't. Because you still believe there's something about them. They're just something. You just believe there's something about them that makes you believe that, maybe this person, if we're able to work things through, this could end up being a very, very long-term relationship that is beneficial for both of you. Seven of Wands. Now they feel like they've been backed in the corner. Probably you guys are accusing them of doing something. You know, usually the Seven of Wands doesn't end up being so good. Oh, no. They have the Knight of Wands. Page of Wands. Let's see. Death card. So I think, you know, in the now, you are either going to give them like an ultimatum, whether it is with your words that you're going to say that I'm like, look, I have had this. If things doesn't change, I'm just going to be focusing a lot on myself and everything that feels right for my self-esteem. But you are in that mood. You're in a death card. You know, death card is a divine intervention. It means that the universe or God loves you very, very much, that he or the universe doesn't want to see you stuck in this position over and over again, because Eight of Cups is like, number 8 is infinity number. There's no break in it. So you've been dealing with this for quite a while, and you know, God or universe just doesn't like it. So you will feel some changes in your energy this week, because you're going to be focusing a lot on what makes your soul feel good. So you probably are going to hang out like a little bit more, focusing on just things that makes you happy. Because of this switch of energy and because how intense this relationship really is, it's almost like you guys can feel each other's presence telepathically. They notice this. They notice this change. That's why they feel that they have no other options. They feel that you guys have an upper hand. This read is going to get cut off because my battery is like bloop, 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 bloop. But we're going to continue until it's just like turn off by itself. So they're like the Page of Wands, right? They miss you. They feel that you guys are kind of like drifting away from them. They're kind of like looking back longingly. Oh my God, Sagittarius, like I think I'm losing my grip on them and everything like that. But I feel that it's going to go for the better. We'll see the future card, because, you know, the energy right after the switch that you're going to be experiencing, the way that they respond to it is they're going to be like the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is beautiful because, you know, it's a young Aries or Sagittarius. So every time they're faced with challenges, every time they're faced with obstacles or a prayer, whatever that is, they tend to look at it like, oh, I need to solve this one. I need to tame this one. I need to get to the bottom of the problem so that I could finish this one. You know what I mean? So there is this problem solving attitude that I see coming out from your partner, especially if you guys are only dealing with one person. Let's see what happens in the future. Hangman in reverse. Not so patient, I see. Oh, King of Cups. Yeah, finally. All right, so in the now, you know, from now on, whenever you watch this video until 1 week to come, I see them kind of like eyeing you and observing you very, very heavily. And they're like, oh, wow, like, what am I supposed to do with you? And they're going to kind of like come up with a strategy or like a plan on how to kind of like conquer you or do something about it and everything like that. And because you guys are so persistent, you became like a little bit like a fixed line on this one. You're very, very stubborn with the fact that you want to move forward with this. You're done, you know, with this karmic loop or with this relationship loop or whatever. You're done with it, and you're like already in the stage of Page of Pentacles. You're letting time, you're letting fate, you're letting luck drive you to a place, a much better place. Even if you have to go back to them, you're okay. And even if you have to go away from them, then you guys are going to be okay. And that's going to trigger them to be like, oh, okay, this can't wait any longer. You know, this just can't wait any longer. Especially since in the future, like right now, now I see actually in the future, you guys are going to be making plans for yourself. So maybe you're going to be planning to move out of the country, or maybe you're going to plan on starting out a new business. But there's like this new venture that you're very, very excited on embarking on. And they're starting to see that as a separating factor, and they're freaking out even more. So I kind of like see them okay, so I kind of like see them reaching out to you. But again, this is when you least expect it, when you've already like in a state where you guys are like 1 foot at the exit door and 1 foot at the entrance. So it's like somewhere in there, and you just don't care anymore. You're just going to let fate, time, universe, God drive you to a better place, wherever it may be. So when that happens, this person suddenly like, oh wow, like I'm losing Sagittarius. So this person is going to come up to you, and this person is then going to be wanting to talk to you, you know, with the King of Cups. So King of Cups is very beautiful because it's emotional vulnerability, you know. It's different than in the past. They were focusing a lot more on the negative side of the relationship, maybe a negative side of your characteristic. In the future, they're going to be like, okay, I think I need to keep an open mind about this. I think I need to know where Sagittarius is coming from. So they're going to be opening a line of communication that could prove to be beneficial for the progress of this relationship if you were to be communicating with them. Because I feel that, you know, because you're in that stage where you don't care anymore, you guys have no problem at all of being bossy. You know, you guys have no problem at all of being extremely blunt. Because face it, we're the bluntest in the zodiac sign. When it comes to the people that we love, we have the tendencies to kind of like filter our mouth just a little bit, right? Because we're afraid of getting hurt. We're afraid that that's going to impact our relationship, whatever. But because you're in a stage of you don't care anymore, I feel that you guys are going to be extremely, extremely honest. And they're open to that, you know, they're really open. The energy is very, very different than you see in the past where they're, you know, focusing a lot on their negativity. When you push them, I think they just have no other options but just to give in to you. So they're going to open up that line of communications in which you're going to be telling them what is it that you find bothering, what bothers you the most about this relationship, and you're going to be the one who's going to have like a trust issues, because you guys are going to be questioning like, why is it that back in the days where I was so caring about this relationship, where I was investing a lot of my time, a lot of my energy, I wasted my life in here, and then this person didn't give it like a single dime about me, and this person undermined me, this person always like focused on the negativity of things, and now that I'm actually moving forward with my life and I don't care anymore, now this person wants me. So that is going to be a question that you're going to be facing, you know, in the future. But I feel that in the weeks to come, it's still like they're kind of like still observing you. But right after you switch your energy entirely to I don't give a damn, then this person is going to come to you. All right. So that is it. If you guys are dealing with one person, I'm going to put a timestamp over here for the pick card reading when the pick card reading starts. And now let's move on to the two people scenarios, meaning that if you guys are dealing with one person, your reading ends now. All right, so now let's move on to the two people scenario. So we got person A in here. Person A is somebody who you had that karmic look with, right? You try to walk away from them emotionally, but you just can't help it, but to kind of like keep coming back to them and everything like that. And this person is kind of like hesitant in approaching you simply because they just don't know how to approach you. They feel that the friendship aspect of the relationship is already gone. First, they don't trust you. Second, they just don't know how to act normal with you. Like even if you were to run into them in a grocery store or in a mall or anything like that, you communicate with them, they can't act normal. It's just weird. You know what I mean? It's just weird. So they're afraid of approaching you because they don't know how to act normal with you. And so I feel that in the now though, so in 1 week to come, whenever you watch this video, there's going to be like a little bit of a switch of energy where you guys are going to be like the death card. You're done with running around in circles with no end in sight. So you're ready to change. You're very, very eager of change. You don't care if you were to lose them. You don't care about that at all. And because this is such a very, very strong connection that you're having with them, that switch of energy, they sense it really, really much. They just know. They just know. I don't know why, but they just know, guys. All right. And they feel like as if like now they're being pushed in a corner and having to make decisions about it. So it's either you communicated with them or with your change of behavior, they just sense it. Here we go again. So, right when you want to walk away, just as you're about to walk away. I mean, like you're in the Page of Pentacles, you just don't care anymore, right? You're giving it up to time, you're giving it up to the universe, you're giving it up to God, you're giving it up to luck. You don't care anymore. Wherever life will take me, it will just take me to a better place. Just when you're just about to walk away and you're in that stage, look who comes back. They're going to throw away all the awkwardness that they might feel with you. They're going to throw away all of their egos and they're just going to come to you. They're going to be extremely generous with you. A little bit distant though. It's just like, hi, how are you? Like a little bit distant, like a boss and employee type of situations. And then after that, they're going to grow closer, closer, and closer. And that is just going to make you even more confused. 8 of Swords. You know, it's the number 8 with this person A. Number 8, there is no N in that number. You just have to break it yourself. All right, so that's for you and person A. How about person B, Anisa? You might be dealing with a Libra, though. I think the majority of you might be dealing with a Libra or somebody who walks in like a military or like a court or a lawyer, justice system, consultant, anything. Or if that's not the case, you're dealing with somebody who is like a lot more who is an overthinker, who every time they want to make decisions about whether or not should I invest in dating with this person, they take quite some time to think about it, but like for some reasons, like there's something about that you like, but it's not emotions. It's just like, wow, this person maybe is financially stable, or maybe this person might help me with this, with my networking with this one. I could use this person as a leverage in my career. It's just something that is pentacles. You know what I mean? Or maybe like with person A, you guys were like so culturally different, and then person B, you just had more chance in pursuing a relationship with them, whatever that is, but it's just like a pentacles. It's not really love. It's not driven by love. So what happens in it now is that now this person is getting a lot more interested in you. You know, they see you as this beautiful soul, adventurous soul that they really, really want to tame. You caught their attention. You caught your attention when you're not focusing on them, when you are. You want a bit like a tips facing this person B? You need to give them space. You need to make it seem as if like you were hanging out with your friends and you're having like a lot more fun, and whether they will reply to your text or not, you don't give a damn. They will see you interesting. You know what I mean? It's like you might be dealing with a Sagittarius too, actually, or an Aries. You need to make them chase you. Just make yourself available so that they can see you as a prey, and then they want to get you. You know what I mean? And I feel that you guys are going to succeed at doing that, yeah? Because what happens in the future is that this person then is going to get a little bit emotional with you, but you're just not ready. I won't blame you, because you kind of like wasted your life, kind of like spent like a lot of times with person A, who gave you like an immense amount of trust issues, and now here you have person B. This emotional openness might freak you out a little bit. They might want, let's see, let me clarify this one. Yep. I don't know. It's just like you became so skeptical. I think you need to heal. You need to go through a healing process first from person A before you jump into any relationship with anybody else. Because guess what, Sagittarius? Your past person or person A has fucked you up so much up to the point that you no longer believe in the idea of 10 of Cups. You don't believe in the idea of everlasting love again. There is this doubt inside of you. It's like whether you're ever going to get it or not. Whether it's just like a fairy tale in reality, that just never happens in real life. Heal yourself from person A first, all right? Because, I mean, from this one, we'll see the pick a card for the advice, right? But, like, from what I can tell in here, this person is emotionally ready for you. And this person is, like, a lot more emotionally mature than person A. So then this person would want something more, right? They want you to be emotionally more vulnerable with them. They're going to get all lovey-dovey with you. They want something with you. They want a 10 of Cups with you. They want a relationship, emotional relationship, which is something that you're very skeptic of in the future. So try to heal, because, I mean, your reactions towards them, you're going to become like an empress. So you're just going to be giving them what they give you. So if they were to be nice to you, you be nice to them. But you're very receptive. You became like a passive participator in this relationship, not really like an active one. What I mean by passive participator in this relationship, I was advising you to do it in the now, not really in the future. Because in the now, you kind of like needed to make them see you as a challenge or see you as something. But then in the future, when they're emotionally open up to you, I mean, if you really want this, my advice, but we'll see with the big part, right? But my advice would be to emotionally open up with them too, so that you can start like a relationship in a healthy way from the very beginning, you know? But let's see. All right, so now let's move on to the pick a card reading. All right, so I have 4 piles of card with me. I'm gonna give you 20 seconds of silence so that you guys could you guys could concentrate, and please, as much as you can, try to pick only 1 pile of card. All right. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. All right. Right, so now for those of you who chose pile number 1, you have the 9 of Swords in reverse, you have the 8 of Pentacles, you have the Devil card, you have the 6 of Swords, and then you have the 5 of Cups. Okay, let me tailor it with our previous reading. Okay, so I feel that in this week to come, in this 1 week to come, whenever it is that you're watching this video, you guys are going to be super duper determined and very, very inclined to get out of the habit of feeling mentally entrapped. Because I feel that in maybe like number 9 is very apparent in here. So maybe like 9 days or 9 weeks or 9 months, you've been feeling this cloudiness inside of your head. It kind of like also might made you become like a maladaptive daydreamer. You know what I mean? So you might want to look that up right after this. So basically what happens is that we kind of like create a reality inside of our head just because we're trying to escape the current reality that we have. But maladaptive daydreamer usually are aware that that's a daydream and not a reality. So they don't kind of like mix that one up. And an acute maladaptive daydreamer usually spend about 56% of their waking hours daydreaming about stuff. So that might be to some of you, but to some of you too, you've just been feeling extremely foggy and cloudy for quite a while, and you just want to get out of that. And I feel that you've also probably have already read like a lot of self-help books, or you just kind of like find like a lot of informations on YouTube or on Google about how it is that you can get out of a period of mental entrapment. And then you're going to be focusing a lot on your money. So you're going to be working like extremely hard. You're going to probably going to end up building something. I don't know, building something, just something. Or maybe providing a shelter for animals. You might look to adopt like new animals as well. But you just want to get out of that period of mental entrapment so bad that you kind of like really want to focus in on living in the present moment. But every time we want to make a change, every time we want to break the pattern, break our habits and everything like that, we're always going to get tested. Right? I mean, even if from elementary school to junior high school, we get a test. Every time we want to level up, we're always going to get tested. And you guys are going to get tested in 2 ways. The first one is whoever it is that has made you become this mentally entrapped, without you realizing, still have so much control over you. Just a simple hi. Just a simple them looking for you through maybe like your neighbors or your mutual friends or your family members and everything like that. Just a simple post, just a simple WhatsApp profile picture change, whatever. They know they have power over you, Sagittarius. They know, and they're going to do that. And what is your tendencies? What are the chances? What will happen? It's just something always brings me back to you. Something always brings you back to them. I see the Six of Swords. She's choosing to close her eyes. Trusting the guide. The guide is blind. You just can't help it because this person has touched you on such an unconscious level. But you can do that, you know, you can break free from this. How? Is by going through your grieving process. You can't miss a step. You can't jump a step. What you're doing right now is you're basically trying to distract yourself. But you're not getting to the root of the problem. You're not breaking free from the shackle that bounds you. You're not going deep enough to your subconscious. You're not going deep enough into yourself to still admit that you still love them. Whatever it is that you might think, oh, I hate them. I hate him, Anisa. I hate her, Anisa. She used me so bad. She's like this. She's like, no, you still love them. Deep down inside, you still. You see how this person is? The Three of Cups, the trust is gone, the friendship aspect is gone, can't talk normally with each other, you don't trust them, they don't trust you, whatever. You're still holding on to those Two of Cups, like your life depends on it. This is what's happening inside of you. Not in here, here. You may or may not notice it, but you're still holding on to it. So, if you really want to move on from this, if you really want to break free from this connection, if you really want to break free from, you're becoming a slave. I'm sorry. You're bound by a shackle to the devil. You're becoming the slave of a devil. The only way for you to break free from this is to really let go of that cup, Sagittarius. What? What is it? What is it that you're still holding on to? You've spent months, weeks, days being super duper optimistic about this. And then you have to kind of like crash your dream over it. You can make dreams. I mean, you can make a better life out of this, you know what I mean? There's so much things better outside of here. Let go of that. You're holding on too tightly. It hurts you. It hurts you so bad. Dressing up in black clocks, it's almost as if as sick as it may sound, it's like you're enjoying the pain. What is it, Sagittarius? Let go of that. You're holding on too tightly to somebody who is just treating you like this devil is treating whoever it is there. It's a snake. Let it go. Let the hurt sink in. Cry for 1 night, 2 nights, it doesn't matter. You have to feel the hurt. You can't just distract yourself. You can't just, all right, I'm going to stop thinking about you. I'm going to focus on this. No, you can't. You can't do that. You have an unfinished problem here. You have an unresolved issue here. You have to go through this. Otherwise, you're just going to keep coming back to the devil. Just so you know. All right? So that's for those of you who chose pile number 1. Now let's move on to those of you who chose pile number 2. So you have a Chariot card here. You have the 9 of Cups. You have the 7 of Cups. You have the 6 of Wands. And then you also have the 2 of Wands. Kinda is the same aura or energy with the pile number 1, but the only difference is that the devil is not involved. So I'm going to clarify something. I know you're not supposed to clarify, but I just wanted, because I'm nosy, you know what I mean? I can't help but being nosy. Do you feel that way too, Sagittarius? Because I'm nosy as fuck. Ooh-hoo-hoo. All right, so you might be dealing with a Cancer, you might be dealing with an air sign, or you might be dealing with a fire sign here. Water, maybe, but just a little. But anyway. Whew. It's going to be the same as the previous reading that we just did, especially the one-person scenarios, where when you realize that you have something to offer, that you have not lost everything, you have not lost your soul, you have not lost your life, you still have so much things to save out of this relationship. When you took off, that's when you got your genie in a bottle. That's when you got your wish fulfillment. For some of you, it might be that time might come when you guys probably are dating with somebody else or whatever. But it's just that when you guys took off, when you guys just don't care anymore, is that when you get your wish fulfillment. Is when you get this person to become emotionally vulnerable to you. Is when you got like a communication from this person if you guys had been in a no contact period. It will make you feel super duper smuggish. You know what I mean? So, haha, so now you want me? It's different in a way, it's different from the previous reading in a way that in a general reading, like you guys are going to be skeptical about it. But for you, if you guys chose pile number 2, I think you're just kind of like super duper happy about it. Because I feel that this pile of cards really does signify somebody who just got lost in touch with somebody, or you've been in touch, but you haven't been that close, you know, like you haven't been talking that much about what really matters. There has been like this cold aura, or just has been weird between the both of you, and you finally had somebody who just kind of like approached you and then wanting to rebuild something out of this relationship again. And you guys are going to be extremely excited about it. It's going to make your ego happy. Yeah. It's going to make your ego happy very, very much. You're going to be feeling a little bit smug about it, like, ha ha ha. Don't play no game. You will be inclined to play games. Don't play no games. Don't play no games. I mean, if you want this, why would you play games? Right? You will feel smug. You will have the tendencies to want to play games. In the past, they were being vague. In the past, they were being negative. In the past, they were being pessimistic. Although you're still optimistic now, you're wanting to play that pessimistic card. I'd say don't do it. Why would you do it? You get what you want. If this is like a relationship that you still want to work on, don't do that. Why? Because I can actually see the potential of this relationship building. You guys will have so much things to talk. Because in the past, before them coming up to you again, you guys kind of like been feeling shackled, and you've kind of like being cut off from their world. You don't know what they're up to. You've just been very, very awkward with them and everything like that. You guys are going to have like an amazing, amazing communication with each other. You might have like a great make-up sex too. Just don't play game, okay? You can only get this if you walk away. You need to walk away. I mean, tarot, timing is not really important. What important is the energy. So a certain type of energy, because it's a cause and effect thing, right? So if you're in this energy, then this will happen. So the timing might be off, but like the energy is usually extremely accurate. Don't play games, yeah? Don't play games. They're going to send you with like a, I don't know, they're going to write you like a novel, and then you're going to be like, K, emoji, laughing emoji with while you're laughing emoji while you're crying, something like that. Don't be petty. Like if you want this, go ahead and do it. If you don't want this, then just give them closure. All right. So that's for those of you who chose pile number 2. All right. So now let's move on to those of you who chose pile number 3. So you have the King of Swords, you have the Ace of Wands, you have the 7 of Wands, and then you have the King of Wands. So the main keyword here is rebuilding. It still goes along with the same line with the previous reading, especially the one-person scenario reading that we did earlier, that you're going to get that opportunities. You're going to get that chance. It's going to be presented to you out in the sky, like, roar. So it's either you're going to meet them in a grocery stores, in a mall, or they're going to reach out to you, whatever that is. But that opportunity is going to come. How you react to that is that you need to become like the King of Swords. You cannot get yourself too excited. I mean, I don't think you guys are going to get too excited anyway, because you're in the stage of the King of Swords. You're skeptical of them. You feel that they're full of BS. So when they come to you, and I think it's going to be helpful if you kind of like now do it, you know, like you write down a piece of paper and then all the problems that you kind of like wanted them to address and everything like that, so that you don't forget. You write it down on a piece of paper so that if they were to come back to you, or if they were to do something, or maybe like beg you or something, that you could ask them these questions, and then you could decide based on your head whether, you know, their explanation makes sense or not. And if you want to work through this relationship, just realize that you need to rebuild it from scratch, because the relationship that you built with them early on was built on a non-stable foundation. You just have to rebuild them. And like, if you look at the Seven of Wands, I'm sorry. The Seven of Wands is a bit different than a traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, because he has no problem at all rebuilding something that he had already previously enjoyed. Was so victorious about it. He had celebrated it. But you know for sure that whatever it is that you were celebrating way back in the past was just like a facade, right? Because we're talking about Wands. Six of Wands is just like a temporary victorious feeling. Every time we win something, we feel, yeah, it's that adrenaline rush. It's like, yeah. But then everybody go home, and then you're like, you know what I mean, right? So yeah, rebuilding should be the main focus if you want to make this relationship work. So when they come to you, you ask them like a lot of questions, and you give them suggestions that if you were to be with them again, you will have to rebuild it from scratch, and you have to kind of like activate your masculine power, regardless of your gender, whether you'd be a woman or whether you'd be a man or what have you. You have to activate your masculine power. And what I mean by masculine power is that, because feminine is very, very receptive. When you guys are in touch with your feminine side, you tend to make excuses. You tend to make compromises. Every time they behave in a certain type of way, you guys are like, oh, maybe they're like that because, you know, he or she was a victim of this, or maybe because they have mommy or daddy issue, or maybe because their ex fucked them up so bad. You know, you keep on making excuses every time you activate your feminine side, and look where it got you. You know what I mean? So you already have that feminine. Let's just let it stay there. Now you kind of like make your masculine side shine through just a little bit. Because you can take care of somebody, Sagittarius, but you also need to take care of yourself. Every time there's like an emergency in a plane, even the airplane would advise us to put on the mask for ourselves, and then we put it to, you know, our children or whatever that is. So you need to be aware that you need to take care of yourself first. You need to protect what you have. That's the masculine power that I'm talking about. So you need to activate your masculine power, get on the leadership role, ask them questions, grill them if you can, and just like to communicate to them, what is it that you want? What is it that you think? King of Wands is very, very confident. All right, so that is it if you chose pile number 3. Now let's move on to those if you chose pile number 4. So you have the Fool card, you have the Nine of Wands, you have the Hermit card, you have the King of Pentacles, you have the Two of Pentacles. This is going to be multi-interpretations. Take what resonates, all right? Okay, so let's go if you guys are dealing one person first. So if you guys are dealing one person, you're still unsure about what is it that you want. Whatever decisions that you want to take, there is always fear. So for instance, if you want to go back to them, you can't help but not to trust them. I mean, because you have the Nine of Wands in here, right? This person is going to come back to you. Remember, Fool card, they're going to come back to you. You're going to have that brand new start. But in responding to that, you guys are like the 9 of Wands, because you feel that you probably have tried like 8 ways to make this relationship work. And then you're tired of always putting up a fight, or you're always tired of having to make any type of effort. And now you're starting to realize that you kind of like forget who you are, what you value, and everything like that. This person might delay your life, you know what I mean? And everything like that. So now you're kind of like a little bit hesitant. Is this person for real, or if this person is not for real, and everything like that? The idea, if that is the case, Sagittarius, is that you need to have like a more in-depth relationship with yourself by being the Hermit card. You know, just be in the same stage as you were in the now. Whatever will be, will be. I mean, if this person want to talk to me, then great. But it's not that I'm going to be hopeful about it. It's not that I'm going to be expecting anything out of it. I'm just going to be focusing a lot on myself, on my financial security, on my stability, on my future, on my life, on my body, my health, and everything about you. Because this is not really the right time for you to make like a decision about something. Because things are still very, very much fluctuative. Your partner wants to change, but the change is not permanent yet. They might relapse. So it's not really the time to make a decision. It's just like, let it flow. Focus on you, right? So that is it if you guys are dealing with one person. If you guys are dealing with, if you guys are dealing with one person, however, if you want to move on from this person, if you want to move on from this person and you're kind of like really, really yearning to look for something new and everything like that, the idea is just to kind of like focus on your life right now. You're in a dire need of a relationship with yourself. Your soul misses you. Where have you been, Sagittarius? Yeah, your inner child misses you. Focus a lot on that aspect, and also focus a lot on your future aspect. You having a relationship again, or you dating somebody again and focusing your energy entirely on somebody else again, it's going to be just such a distraction. You want to be juggling things together. All right? Now, what happens if you guys are dealing with 2 people? If you guys are dealing with 2 people, it says that you need to start trusting person B. Your fear is not justified because they're a nice person. They're somebody who is extremely emotionally mature. They have the ability to be reflective upon themselves. So it's not the type of person who, when you guys end up being in an argument, they're going to be pointing fingers at you and says like, that's your fault. No. They're very reflective, and they're also very, very stable. They can be trusted. They can be reliable. Rely on, They can. It's okay for you. Your fear is not justified. You want to know why you have so much fear? It's because you keep comparing these 2 people. It's because you have unresolved or unfinished issues with your past person. Whether it be person A or whether it be like the past person way before person A, it doesn't matter. You have unresolved trauma that you yourself need to deal with. It's not fair to project these things to person B because they're such a good person. Your fear is not justified. It will take time, Sagittarius, probably 8 months, for you to start be able to love innocently, genuinely, like you guys used to before. It's going to take time. Just be patient with that. Okay? If you're single and ready to mingle, you have 2 options coming your way. You have a Virgo, maybe an Aquarius, and then either a Leo or another earth signs. And you just, I don't know, your fear is just so not justified, guys. Your fear is not justified. This fear is justified if you're dealing with your past person. This is not justified if you guys are dealing with a new person, because you're projecting your fears onto somebody else and it's not fair. How would you feel if somebody else does it to you? It's not fair, right? You need to deal with the real issue. You're still holding on to your past person, whether you like it or not. You still share the love. You still carry that. You're still very much connected. You need to heal. You just can't take a shortcut to healing. You just can't. You need to go through that process, all right? So I think that is it for my reading for you, Sagittarius. I really do hope that you guys have tons and tons of clarity you've been looking for, and I really do hope to see you next week for another weekly reading. All right? Bye-bye, guys. Have a great day. I love you. La la